yeah, again, really should be playing more hands in position. I mean, it's just, you know, you're playing against fish. You're playing against a guy who's 3xing. Playing 8-2 suited is going to be better than open folding, so why wouldn't you do it? You know, there are going to be so many good spots post-flop. I mean, especially with a suited hand. I mean, you really shouldn't be folding suited hands almost as a rule, almost ever. As rarely as possible in a heads-up sit and go. But you know, especially on the button, you know, folding a suited hand, it's just, you know, it doesn't matter that it's 8-2. It's suited. It hits a flush draw 10% of the time on the flop. And it's a hand that you can barrel off with. And it's, you know, it's a hand that you can play well with post-flop. C-bet. You know, you're going to C-bet and get fold. So, yeah. If you don't feel comfortable min-raising it, you can even limp it. It's still going to be better than folding them. Yeah, that 9-5 fold. Yep, min-raise is fine. Great. Fine. Min-raise, yep. And we would be folding to a shove. Fine, raise it up. Yeah, 3x is fine. Oh well. 4, again, open up. Yep. It's a value bet. Sizing's fine. Fold. I thought a min raise there, but not 3x. We have to be tighter. Don't get good odds. Again, no reason to open fold versus this kind of guy. 10-2 at least is a bad hand. I really think that, you know, even if you're planning on open folding and having like an open fold range, 10-2s, you really probably shouldn't have it in there. It's a pretty good hand. But like, again, particularly versus this guy, we should not be open folding hands. He's really bad. So we're really happy playing a lot of hands, especially in position. You know, our post-flop edge is going to be really important. Yep, fold, easy. Fine. Again, open. Yeah, just playing way too tight in position. That, at least you can open fold. Again, like, although I would probably limp it, to be honest. Flat. Easy. Although it's starting to get to the point where we might want to consider starting to shove stuff like this, because he's 3xing standard. And chances are he's not going to be bet calling, 3x calling a correct range. It's a little hard because I don't know your HUD well, and I don't know exactly what his pre-flop raises. And of course, it's not divided by stack depth, so we don't even really know what his opening has been. But, you know, he's been opening a decent amount, so it's pretty close. But I would still flat this. I mean, still going to play awesome post. And yeah, he's going to do stuff like that. You know, this is why we should be playing stuff like 10-2 in position, because he's going to do stuff like that. Again, open. Flat. You know, I'm even looking now. I was trying to find Villain's VPIP out of position, but you don't even have his VPIP out of position. Do you? No. I'm guessing this one is out of position. Yeah, this one's probably out of position. So 55, of course, it probably does include the times you limp, but you haven't really limped. So yeah, I mean, not only is this guy really bad post, but he's also so far been playing less than the population of VPIP. Right now, he's already at the point where min-raise folding is better than open folding just mathematically, just because he folds enough. Just because you're guaranteed, you know, if you just min-raise pre-flop and c-bet 100% of flops and then give up, you're guaranteed to be plus CV compared to open folding. So really, no reason to, yeah, because he, I'm trying to figure out, find his fold to c-bet. Check, fold, c-bet, yeah. 75, yeah, okay, either way. Oh, this is probably check turns, or, trying to figure it out, but yeah. in any case, again, it's just, you know, really at this point, not only should we be probably playing them against the population because they're bad, not only should we be playing them because he's bad, but also he's tight. And so, yeah, we really should not be doing this. Okay. This is a weird spot to check raise. I mean, I don't hate it. Again, I think that it's a pretty decent spot because he has c-bet a lot, I think. Yeah, he's been c-betting, where is it? C-bet 100%. Yeah, he's c-bet a lot. It's a board where he doesn't hit that much. Check raise is fine here. I mean, and we do have 2 overs to 6, so we have a decent amount of playability. Check raise and plan to bet turns. Just again, I think that you should use 100 here. Get more folds, represent a premium hand, get re-raise less. It's just 10 extra chips, but I think it's worth the psychological advantage. Like, you know, these fish are going to be more susceptible to, you know, playing based on their gut and based on, you know, what their subconscious signals are telling them to do. And so we can kind of manipulate that a little bit and use things that we know cause certain subconscious reactions. Okay. 60, fine. Well, fine. I guess, yeah, I mean, I think this is a decent spot to bet bigger. You're trying to avoid getting check raised, and yeah, I think this is okay. Getting extra folds is fine here. Yeah. It's a little bit awkward because it's going to be hard to barrel off. But no, it just makes the stack fine. Yeah. And yeah, 90 here is good. We want to induce as much as possible, but get as much value as possible, and then just shove her. Fine. Cool. We probably could have shoved the turn, the more I think about it. Like, he's likely calling off with a lot of hands, but yeah, I don't know. He might fold draws or something like that. And since we beat all the straight draws too, we're fine letting the flush draws draw. Yeah. Shoving the turn could have been fine too. It was so close. I mean, you know, it's one of those spots where you have the nuts and you're going to get it in anyways, versus very similar ranges no matter what you do. So all the expectations are going to be pretty close. Cool. Oh, yeah, we win. Awesome. Yep. Just keep folding. Yep. Shove. Yep. Snap value shove. This is one of the nice things about 3x. Yeah. Yeah, and it turns out, you know, we're pretty happy still flatting stuff like Jack-9 suited if he's actually is calling off light. Just it's a pretty profitable spot actually suddenly because with our value, you know, that's what we get to just get a lot of value out of any hand. Yeah, pre-flop. Any value here because of his 3x range. All right. Funny that you're min raising now. I mean, that guy was much better than Weedless for how good 3xing is. I mean, min raising. I think min raising that like 7-3 off is probably like really, really close to folding. That's one of the hands where I think that folding is probably, you know, 25 big blinds deep with 7-3 off. I think folding is fine. I limp it actually because I like to be able to bluff post flop with it. But again, I think that open folding is fine. Min raising is fine too. I mean, they're all very marginal option. But you know, it's funny that yeah, 9-4 is better than 7-3 off as well. So I'm just a little confused as to, you know, sort of your logic behind why you're opening one and not the other. Fold. It's kind of close to a call. I don't hate your call here. I mean, I just think that most fish tend to have very strong 3-bet not all-in ranges. They tend to be nutted ranges. Deep stacked, it's not as clear. Shallower than like 18 big blinds, it's really nutted. At this point, there's still some other stuff. But the issue is just, you know, we don't get great odds either with this big sizing. Like, I think the sizing makes it even worse. At the same time, I mean, this is a fish. He's going to play bad post. We have position. So I don't hate your call. But I think this is definitely, like, right on the boundary. Like, I would call King 9 suited for sure. I really think King 7 suited probably isn't going to be good enough. And this is going to be marginal, so fine. Yeah, I think checking back the flop's fine. Gonna be pretty passive. I would probably call the turn though. You know, there's not that much slow play at ace-x. I mean, there's some slow play at ace-x, but I think our king high is going to be good there, decent percent of time, and we're going to see a lot of a lot of rivers. It's going to be pretty easy to realize our equity share because he's likely going to give up with bluffs. I mean, most fish tend to be passive. I really don't think he's going to bluff two streets there. It's not a bad fold though, just because his sizing is pretty suspicious. There is a decent amount of ace high, ace-x, or slow play, or other weird slow played stuff. Again, his range is very nutted pre-flop. But, you know, if we think his range is really that nutted pre-flop, where his turn bet, you know, after checking back that kind of flop, is still nutted, I would maybe still go back and maybe fold pre-flop. So I think that there's still enough, like, weird error in his range, and he sort of gave up on the flop, but you gave up, so he just tried bluffing it, and so I would bluff catch that one street, especially since we had a little bit of equity share too, king and 8, so. But it's rather close. I think folding those is fine. Yeah, folding for 2 there is fine. I'd flat it deeper. Here, I think, again, fish tend to be very tight with their min-raising ranges, so I'm folding it at this depth. It's pretty close, though. I don't hate your call. Fine. Although that's a pretty good board to check raise. Like, if you're finding boards, like, you check raise that other top pair on, like, this is a pretty decent spot to check raise as well versus fish. Like, we have backdoor draws. Oh, we're a little too shallow. Sorry. This is a good spot to check raise deeper. That's what I should say. Because we have a backdoor draw on the bottom end, and we also have an overcards the board, so we'll be able to value bet sometimes when we hit top pair, and we'll have some showdown sometimes, so we don't always have to bluff rivers. So deep stacked, I think this is a better check raise, and then you can barrel the turn and sort of decide on river would be our game plan, but there, yeah, at this depth, it's just gonna be fine to fold it. Yep, open the jack 5. I've been raising here as well. Fold it. Fine. Limp. Yep. You could also open shove it. Expectations are gonna be pretty similar, but limping is good option versus fish. Yeah. So this is not good. This is definitely, you know. So I should clarify. It is good in the sense that you're doing better than folding. I'm pretty confident. Most likely you're doing better than folding. Let me even clarify that one. I mean, the major issue is that fish really have very tight min raising ranges around this depth. You know, like sometimes around less than 30%. And so there's just a lot of hands in that range that call you off, that just have you crushed. And so you're essentially semi-bluffing, but you're semi-bluffing into a really small range that often doesn't fold. I mean, fish sometimes don't fold stuff like, you know, they usually don't fold queen jack, don't fold like, sometimes they don't fold king 2 off, bet fold it. You know, we had that guy bet call us with king 6 off. So, you know, there's a lot of room for him to bet call us light with hands that we hate getting bet called, like king 6 off. And so, you know, I really think we should just be flatting here. Again, shoving will maybe be plus EV from, you know, compared to folding, but flatting is going to be way plus EV compared to folding. I mean, it's going to be, it's a very playable hand. It's going to flat absolutely fine. We're also shallow, so there's not as much positional edge by our opponent, you know, because there's not as much chips that go in on later streets, which is where positional edge is. He doesn't have as much chance to leverage it because he's not going to be a 3-barrel. There's going to be, in general, he'll have fewer streets to act on and make big bets on. So we're really happy, you know, getting, playing post flop. And so we should just take that option and not shove here because, again, I think probably shoving is plus EV on average versus the population, but there will be some guys where it's really minus EV. And even the guys where it is plus EV, it's still probably not going to be better than flatting. Again, way too tight. You should min raise that or limp it. Limp it. Yep, good. Perfect hand to limp at this step. Raise. I think that's a little ambitious to shove here. It's close. I mean, I don't hate it. I just think that, I mean, the issue is just that the min donks and limp pots tend to be on the weak side. Like, I think he has a lot of 3x, 2x here. I think we should just be raising for value. And I don't think we're really getting bluff caught. Again, I like shoving, and you know, these kind of spots can be very good to shove, where you have the top pair on what seems to be a dry board. But in this case, this isn't a dry board because this 3-2 aren't actually connected because it's only wheel draws that get to it. There's only there's a flush draw, but that's not that dry. And furthermore, the 3-2 don't even bluff catch well. Like, he's just gonna fold his pairs of 2s and 3s here, and we accomplish nothing. So we should raise here for value. We can raise pretty big. I would raise like 90 or something like that. And just intend to bet pretty big on the turn and shove river for value or something like that. Fold. Yeah. Min raise. Too tight. This is pretty close to a shove. I think I still check back. Fish tend to trap a decent amount at this depth, and 7-8 plays well post, so there's no real reason to shove. Especially so shove. Deeper, I almost think, like around 12 big blinds, there can be some good reason. You fold out a lot of hands that were doing well versus you. And yeah, check fold there is fine. Again, min raise, really. I mean, at that point, you know, that's a hand where I think likely open shoving it is better than, marginally better than open folding. I don't think we should be open, open shoving it. Oh, sorry, go back. 10-4 suited, was it? Yeah, 10-4 suited. So this is, yeah, at this depth, this is better open shoved than open folded. So you know you're making a mistake. I mean, if you go into IC Miser and put in some ranges for, you know, how tight people call your shove, you know, again, even if you put in Nash calling, it should be, I think it's a Nash shove. If it's not, it doesn't really matter because people really just don't call shoves that light. And so it's going to be a marginally plus TV shove. I'm pretty confident. And so likely, you know, shoving is better here than open folding. But it's going to be a really marginal plus TV shove, and we shouldn't compare to open folding anyways, because again, I've argued that min raise folding is better than open folding. So we should min raise folding, but, or limp. Again, we could possibly limp as well. Both options are pretty good, but yeah, open folding is not great. Min raise fold. Min raise fold. I would min raise fold. That's that, at least 9-2. I don't completely hate the fold. You can throw in some folds if you want to. Yeah, open shove for value. Absolutely. Flat. This is close. Folding there is fine. Again, we do face very nutted ranges. I flat there because I'm pretty confident with my post-flop game play against fish. So, you know, but it's really at the very bottom of my flatting range because we're so, not because we're so shallow, because fish have such tight ranges shallow. That's the major thing. Because fish have such tight ranges shallow, we have to be pretty tight versus their ranges out of position. And so, you know, we do have to fold quite a bit, but yeah, so 8-7 would be at the bottom. So I think folding there's fine. Yep, open shove, good. Open shoves really well. That's a fold. Yeah, open shove there's fine, or limp it. Yep, shove for value. And this is really close. I would just open shove this. He doesn't seem like the kind to 3-bet shove much. I guess he has 3-bet 2/3 of the time, but still, we have a very small sample. I would just open shove this for value. He's seen us shoving a lot. I think it's going to be marginally better. But it's really close. I mean, it just depends a little bit how confident you are playing post-flop again. It's going to depend a lot on how you're going to be playing with ace-9 versus, you know, stuff like 8-7 or something like that. But pretty close. Yep, shove this for value. Well played. Min raise folds or limp. I guess, I mean, at this step, it's 5-3 is not. I guess you can open. Yeah, I think this is fine versus fish. It's pretty close. Yeah, I think checking backside is fine there too. Again, fish do include decent amount of traps, so we're going to play well versus them post. Shoving there is absolutely fine. They'll also call you off with worse, so it's a nice benefit. Yep, open shove there. Well played, standard. Fine. Min raise fold. Fine. Yeah, I'm folding it. We could consider like min check raising or something. It's a pretty dry board. We expect him to check back a lot of time. This is probably not a shove. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not a shove at this deck. It's just not going to be profitable. I would min raise fold it or limp it. It's pretty close though. I mean, obviously it's not going to be unprofitable by a lot. Suited hands in general shove pretty well, but yeah, if you run the numbers on that, it's going to be a little bit off. Which is the population. Limping there is likely better than open shoving. Open shoving is better than folding.